NASA has delivered pictures of a previously unheard-of peculiarity where a star named Scarab Jew blew its top off and launched out a colossal part of its surface. The occasion is known as surface mass launch SME, and as per the Space Organization, the discharge was 400 billion times the mass of a common sun-powered flare from our sun. Researchers term the occasion as watching heavenly development continuously. A star launching such tremendous pieces of its actual structure has shocked numerous. The devastating blast of this very red monster is disturbing a ton of what we know in the universe. For what reason did Betelgeuse go insane? What will that mean for the universe? How about we find out? Heavenly bodies are comprised of many stars and are organized as per folklore and legends. They are as yet utilized for route today. One such star is Creepy Crawly Jew, which is among the largest and most splendid stars in our night sky. The splendid ruby-red shining star known as Betelgeuse is situated in the upper right shoulder of the colder time of year star grouping Orion the tracker when seen ATT likely. However, space experts remember it as a fuming beast with a multi-day-long heartbeat of customary throbs. As a result of its dreary orange-red variety, Scarab Juice is effectively distinguished. It's ideal for persuading skeptics that stars truly do, truth be told, have various varieties. It is likewise known as Alpha Orionis, and it is the second most splendid star in the heavenly body after the blue supermonster. Riel Insect Jew is a charming article for star studies and perceptions because of its variable nature as well as its odd name. Regularly, stars with the name Alpha are the most splendid stars in their heavenly bodies. Despite the fact that Riel Orion's other brilliant star is more splendid, Scarab Jew is Alpha Orionis because of its name, brilliant size, and rosy shade. It is likewise one of the most notable stars. It's essential to take note that this star filled in as the model for both the person and the film Betelgeuse. It is the seventh most brilliant star that should be visible from a large portion of North America, Europe, and Canada, and it is the 10th most brilliant star in general overhead. Earth is generally near Insect Juice. Cosmologists can't pinpoint Creepy Crawly Juice's definite distance from Earth despite the fact that they trust it to be somewhere in the range of 430 and 724 light-years away. Betelgeuse is the most brilliant red supermonster star and is nearest to Earth in our universe. There are only 200 red supermonster stars that have been distinguished. The Sun has a sweep that is multiple times bigger than Scarab Juice. Assuming that this star supplanted our Sun in the planetary group, it would arrive at past the space rock belt and even past Jupiter. This recommends the Earth, Mars, Venus, Mercury would all be totally absorbed. Creepy Crawly Juice is 16.5 times as massive as the Sun. This very Goliath has 126,000 sun-oriented radiance and is noticeable from 548 light-years away. This star has a surface temperature of 3,600 Kelvin, making it cooler than the Sun. Just around 133% of Betelgeuse's brilliant energy is apparent light. If natural eyes would see lights at all frequencies, Betelgeuse would overwhelm Ceres as the most splendid star in our night sky. Betelgeuse loses around one sunlight-based mass like clockwork. The red star is encircled by a cloud since this material is being catapulted unevenly from the star every which way. A haze of material multiple times bigger than this star surrounds Betelgeuse. The size of this cloud is likewise remembered to be 30 cosmic units or multiple times the Sun-Earth distance. The Sun and Neptune, the farthest planet in the planetary group, are isolated by this distance. Our planetary group Sun consistently launches mass into space, which is known as sun-based flares. However, the Sun just breathes out small pieces of its external air known as the crown, giving the peculiarity the name coronal mass launch. CME. Accordingly, coronal mass discharges and surface mass launches can happen at isolated times when a star discharges a part of its shaky external environment. It causes a CME known as the crown. CMEs from our nearby planet group happen very as often as possible and can affect Earth and its occupants. CMEs can travel more than 1,800 meters per second while catapulting attractive fields and plasma into space, which permits them to infrequently show up on Earth very quickly. A CME can disturb and hurt Earth satellites and power foundations, at the point when it happens on the Sun that faces the planet, and it incidentally puts space explorers in circles in peril. The new disclosure shed light on the outstanding reason for Creepy Crawly Juice's diminishing in 2019. The material that the star catapulted detonated into space called and created a haze of vast residue that concealed Bug Juice's splendor from Earth-based spectators. Furthermore, Betelgeuse's famous look-consistent pull and design has been modified. The CME on Betelgeuse is surprising in light of the fact that it delivered 400 billion times more mass than an ordinary CME, which made the star shudder like a dish of gelatin desserts, as indicated by NASA news discharge. As per Andrea Dury, a space expert at the Middle for Astronomy, the star's inside convection cells might be in jumble while the photosphere, which is what we see as the star's surface, battles to reproduce itself. Space experts have been following the star's steady example for the beyond 200 years. At this point, it no more exists. All red monsters, including Betelgeuse, are dying, and having the option to see this interaction will permit specialists to glean some significant knowledge about the advancement of stars. Most of the stars in the universe are controlled by atomic combination, which at last wears out and makes a star go through a progression of charming heavenly changes before it at long last perishes. When a star is conceived, it is made of hydrogen, which under the power of gravity combines in the star's center to make helium in an atomic blast. A great deal of intensity and light energy is commonly delivered during the combination interaction. This energy goes to the star's surface and is delivered as a photon into space. As the star ages, its essential fuel hydrogen runs out, and helium begins to join with carbon to frame carbon. After the helium is spent, neon will ultimately join with carbon to frame iron when this occurs. The combination of neon with iron retains the energy as opposed to delivering it, since there isn't anything to go against the star's extremely strong gravity. When iron begins to meld, the star implodes in on itself, leading to a cosmic explosion. A cosmic explosion, one of nature's most remarkable powers, can produce more energy than 10 billion suns. Stars shift tone during the direction of their reality from the most youthful, most blazing blue structures to the more established, cooler red assortments, relying upon what phase of their heavenly development they have arrived at. The Greek researcher TMY 9168 promotion oddly alluded to Betelgeuse's tone as having a rudiness definitely 3 centuries sooner. Chinese space experts had described the star as having a yellow appearance, potentially suggesting that Betelgeuse was previously a yellow very monster. Bigger stars much of the time consume their hydrogen quicker and cease to exist sooner. In spite of being just about 10 million years of age, Betelgeuse is absolutely approaching the finish of its life expectancy. Our child, then again, is still thriving at roughly 5 billion years of age. Besides, in light of the fact that Betelgeuse is approaching the finish of its life, it's conceivable that a cosmic explosion will happen soon. Betelgeuse undergoes 2 diminishing and lighting up cycles, the second of which happens around like clockwork and endures roughly 100 days. The star's external shell is remembered to grow and contract during this cycle, changing the star's boundary and normal temperature. As per each step of the cycle, cosmologists might acquire a superior comprehension of how red stars lose mass in their last days prior to detonating in a splendid cosmic explosion from Betelgeuse's blast. As Dupree notes, we've never up until recently never seen an enormous mass discharge on the outer layer of a star. We are left with something going on that we don't completely have the foggiest idea. It's an absolutely new peculiarity that we can notice straightforwardly and resolve surface subtleties with Hubble. We're watching heavenly advancement continuously, yet it's indistinct whether this improvement forecasts Betelgeuse's approaching cosmic explosion on the grounds that the outcomes are so surprising. NASA issues an admonition that Betelgeuse might not have arrived at the finish of its life, regardless of whether it is. Enormous time is long, and red supermonsters die rapidly by correlation. As per NASA, Betelgeuse will detonate in the following 100,000 years. Betelgeuse has been the focal point of intense review since the 1st century BC. More as of late, a researcher by the name of Serafina Nance and her group sought to discover the possible timing of the cosmic explosion blasts of red supermonsters like Betelgeuse to figure out how a star that enormous would act over the long run. Nance and her group ran different reenactments involving Betelgeuse as a model. They then stood out their discoveries from field perceptions. For what reason did Betelgeuse reduce abruptly, and in conflict with its standard cycle, when it will not likely detonate for an additional 100,000 years? Betelgeuse was expelled from its home in the Orion OB1 affiliation, which contains the stars in Orion's chime and has been seen traveling through the interstellar medium at a speed of 30 kilometers per second, in excess of 4 light-years wide. A bow shock is being delivered by this speeding star. By mid-February 2020, Betelgeuse had lost around threefold the amount of brilliance from extent 0.5 to greatness 1.7 subsequent to starting to decline strongly in October 2019. By February 17 of 2020, Betelgeuse's brilliance had been steady for very nearly 10 days, and the star had begun to light up again. However, creepy crawly juice appeared to have quit diminishing totally 5 days after the fact, effectively finishing the darkening episode. Given that there were no tremendous changes in the infrared on February 24, 2020, it created the impression that the new visual blurring was irrelevant to the expected core breakdown. Another review that day presumed that the star's diminishing was most possible brought about by using huge grain circumstellar dust. Absorption is precluded from having a massive impact in a review that utilizes estimations at submillimeter frequencies. However, the blurring gives off an impression of being brought about by huge star spots. Further examination showed a sensational ascent in scarab juice's brilliance among May and August. Creepy crawly juice is so near the sun that it is remarkably difficult to see from the Earth. Before 2020, when bug juice will be associated with the sun, it was in addition to 0.4 brillion as per the observations made with sound. Stereo a satellite in June and July of 2020, the star had blurred by 0.5 since its past ground-based perception in April. Everybody was astonished by this because the biggest and subsequent least were normal to happen in August, September 20120, and around April 2021, respectively. Scarab juice's brightness was known to move fiercely, making forecasts troublesome. The blurring appears to show that a second diminishing occasion might happen a whole lot earlier than anticipated. The finding of a subsequent residue cloud coming from bug juice, which was connected to a new extensive darkening of the star's light, was uncovered by stargazers on August 30, 2020. In June 2020, it was proposed that a cool fix on its photosphere may be the reason for the residue, and in August, a moment-free examination affirmed the underlying speculation. The residue is remembered to have been made by the gas that the star had spilled by concentrates on finished in 2022 utilizing the Hubble Space Telescope, including dust, may have been made by a surface mass discharge. The material was catapulted from the star's surface a huge number of kilometers away where it cooled, compacted, and shaped the star's blurring dust. The wrecked photosphere, which was about a few times as weighty as our moon, headed out into space, cooled, and made a residue cloud that covered the star according to the viewpoint of watchers on Earth. The blurring, which started in late 2019 and gone on for a couple of months, was obviously noticeable, even by terrace eyewitnesses who noticed the star's brightness change much more exceptional. The 400-day throb pace of the very monster has evaporated since near quite a while ago. Cosmologists have been following this cycle by dissecting changes in bug juice's surface movements and brilliance variations. Its unsettling influence uncovers the degree of the impact. Space experts have now fostered an expected hypothesis to represent the interruption. The star is additionally gradually remaking strength, and the photosphere is recovering. The star's ordinary cycle is being lost. Furthermore, the inside is vibrating like a bell that has been pummeled. A huge heavenly surface mass discharge has until recently never been seen. There is as yet something going on that we don't completely understand. We may straightforwardly see this shiny new peculiarity and use Hubble to perceive surface highlights real-time perception of the advancement of stars. What time will it happen? Likely not in our lifetimes yet. As a matter of fact, nobody truly realizes. It very well may be tomorrow or 1 million years from now. Will Earth be annihilated by the Betelgeuse cosmic explosion? No, the blast of Betelgeuse won't influence or somewhat end life on Earth since it will happen excessively far off from the planet. Stargazers gauge that for a cosmic explosion to be hazardous to people, we should be 50 light-years far off from it. Additionally, bug juice is more than 10 times further away, as we surely understand. Rather, everyone on Earth simultaneously will be blessed to receive a remarkably stunning perspective on a very extremely splendid brilliant star in the night sky. At last, because of Betelgeuse's area, cosmologists will have the option to concentrate on the star when it undergoes a cosmic explosion. Bug juice isn't currently noticeable in the night sky, so don't go searching for it there. Regardless of whether it went cosmic explosion right now, we wouldn't see a lot of it, except if it is in the early afternoon sky during August. Betelgeuse could have proactively gone cosmic explosion over a long time back, and we haven't yet seen its light. Researchers are amped up for the opportunity to see Betelgeuse's epic eject and recovery. In the meantime, the James Webb Space Telescope of NASA might have the option to follow the gold creepy crawly juice material as it traverses space, while the Hubble telescope keeps on reading up the star. Much obliged for watching one more episode. While you're still here, try to tap the video on your screen for additional staggering recordings about space.